All right, today we're jumping into the incredible story of Indian English literature. We're going to trace how it grew from its, colonial roots and just exploded onto the world stage.
So the whole thing really boils down to this one big question, right? How did a language of empire become a voice for a new nation? I mean, think about it. How do you take a language that was forced on you and turn it into something that's truly yours? Let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, the early writers faced this massive challenge. They had to figure out how on earth do we capture a reality that is so uniquely Indian, but in English?
And you know what? This quote from Raja Rao just hits the nail on the head. He's one of the pioneers we're going to talk about in a sec. One has to convey in a language that is not one's own the spirit that is one's own. Wow. That's it right there. It wasn't about just translating words. It was about pouring the soul of a culture into a totally different language.
So, let's go to the 1930s. This period is often called, the Renaissance of the Indian English novel. And it's because three absolute giants stepped onto the scene. And they didn't just wrestle with the problem, they came up with the first real, powerful solutions. And what's so cool is that they each took a totally different path. You've got Mulk Raj Anand, who is all about social justice, about giving a voice to the people who are usually silenced, the subalterns. Then there's R.K. Narayan, the master of the ordinary, everyday stuff. And finally, Raja Rao, who got really philosophical and experimental with the language itself. So yeah, three pioneers, three completely different blueprints for the future of the Indian novel.
Let's start with Mulk Raj Anand. This guy was a total firebrand, a passionate socialist. He basically used his novels as a weapon. His book, Untouchable, it follows just one day in the life of a toilet cleaner. It was so radical for its time that 19 publishers rejected it. He was the one who really kicked the door down to give a voice to India's most marginalized people.
And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got R.K. Narayan. He created this amazing fictional South Indian town called Malgudi. Think of it as his own little universe. And his genius? It was this beautiful, gentle irony he used to write about just normal middle-class life. He made these small, everyday stories feel completely universal.
But hey, it wasn't all just about the novel. At the same time, you had new voices popping up in poetry and drama too. They started to shift the focus, moving away from these big, grand stories about the nation and zooming in on more personal, more urban, and more psychological stuff.
And here are three of the key players in that shift. You've got Nissim Ezekiel, who is amazing at capturing the real sound of English spoken in the cities, sometimes called Babu English. Then A.K. Ramanujan, who is this incredible bridge builder, connecting ancient poetry with a super modern style. And Girish Karnad, who did something really clever. He used old myths and history as a kind of mask to talk about modern-day politics.
But maybe the most radical, game-changing voice of all was Kamala Das. You have to remember, this was a time when women's personal lives, their desires, all that was kept completely under wraps. And she just came out and wrote about it all with this raw, fearless honesty. It was revolutionary. And this quote from her poem and introduction is just everything. My language is half English, half Indian. Funny, perhaps, but it is honest. She's not making excuses for our English, she's owning it. She's saying, yeah, it's a mix, it might sound funny to you, but this is my authentic voice, it's honest.
Okay, so then we hit the 1980s, and this is when everything changed. It's like a switch was flipped. Indian writing in English didn't just find its footing anymore. It absolutely exploded onto the world stage. It was a whole new level of confidence.
And the catalyst, the big bang for this whole movement, was Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children. When it won the Booker Prize in 1981 and later was even named the Booker of Bookers, it was a signal to the entire world. It basically announced, hey, look over here. Something huge is happening. It was a total game changer.
So how did he do it? Well, one of his signature moves was this thing that critics call chutneyfication. I love that term. He wasn't just writing in English, he was taking the language, throwing in Hindi and Urdu words, jokes, idioms, and giving it this wild, chaotic, nonstop energy. He was literally mixing it all up like a chutney.
And Rushdie basically opened the floodgates. As you can see here, the years that followed were just boom, boom, boom. One major prize-winning book after another. You have Amitav Ghosh in '88, Vikram Seth in '93, Arundhati Roy in '97. A whole new generation of superstars had arrived.
Let's talk about Amitav Ghosh for a second. The best way to describe him is like a literary detective or an archaeologist.
He dives deep into archives and history books and then weaves these incredible fictional stories about people who've been totally forgotten by the official histories. We're talking sailors on opium ships, workers from forgotten conflicts, their stories.
And then you have Vikram Seth, who is just impossible to pin down. This is a guy who wrote a whole novel, The Golden Gate, entirely in sonnets, and it's set in California. And then he turns around and writes A Suitable Boy, this gigantic, sprawling 19th century-style epic. I mean, the sheer range is just staggering. It's mind-blowing.
And of course, we have to talk about Arundhati Roy. When her first novel, The God of Small Things, came out in 1997, it wasn't just a book, it was an event. The way she played with the English language was like nothing anyone had ever seen before. She bent it, twisted it, and made it beautiful, all while telling this incredibly powerful story about injustice.
So what did she do that was so different? Well, she threw out the rulebook. She played with capitalization, repeated phrases to create a kind of rhythm, and just messed with grammar in a way that was so lyrical. But it wasn't just style for style's sake. All of it served the story, which was a heartbreaking look at what she calls the love laws, those invisible, cruel rules about who you're allowed to love.
And this line from the book, man, it just gets to the heart of it all. Who should be loved, and how much? That's it. That's the question that runs through the entire novel, and it just lays bare the cruelty of a society that tries to control something as basic as love.
Okay, so that brings us pretty much up to today. The story is still unfolding, of course, and a lot of the big voices now are writing about what it means to live in our globalized world. They're tackling these really complex ideas of migration, identity, and what it means to belong.
And here are two perfect examples. You have Jhumpa Lahiri, whose writing is so sharp and precise. She really gets into the quiet, subtle feelings of being an immigrant, of being caught between two worlds. And then you have Kiran Desai, whose book, The Inheritance of Loss, is right there in the title. She looks at how the wounds of colonialism and the pressures of globalization get passed down through families, from one generation to the next.
And this literary tradition is still evolving, still pushing boundaries. You have a new generation of writers like Meena Kandasamy who are incredibly direct and political. They're not pulling any punches. They're using English as a weapon, plain and simple, a tool to dismantle the old systems of caste and gender oppression.
So, where does that leave us? It's been an incredible journey, hasn't it? We've seen English go from being the language of the colonizer to a voice for the powerless, from deep philosophical novels to global blockbusters. The one thing that's for sure is that writers will keep taking this language and making it new. So the real question is, what amazing new stories are they going to tell next?